Hi, I'm Diane Hendricks and welcome to Fresh to Frozen and Back. This show is going to make your life easier. In each episode, I show you how to prepare delicious and better for you meals, how to freeze them properly, and then bring them back to the table at a later date. Makes your life so much easier. Today, we're having a pizza party. I'm going to show you how to make homemade pizza dough, which is so easy, and how to add some really great toppings, and then a twist on pizza using flour tortillas from Don Pancho. Okay, so you need a stand mixer. Well, you don't need it. You can do it on top of your countertop with your hands, but I like using a stand mixer. So you're going to use the dough hook in the stand mixer. And what you're going to do is you're going to put water into the stand mixer, and then you're going to add yeast. All of these recipes are on my website, dianehendricks.com. The water has to be warm, so you need warm water in order for the yeast to dissolve. So you're just going to stir around in there waiting for that yeast to dissolve, which only takes about a minute because you really want that to dissolve into the water. Now this is almost there. Okay, now the yeast has dissolved and we're just going to add a couple more ingredients. A nice hefty pinch of coarse salt, a little bit of sugar, which really you notice in the recipe, the flavor of it, and some extra virgin olive oil. Then we're going to turn on the stand mixer on the lowest speed. So you have it on the lowest speed. Then we're going to start adding flour. I'm using an all-purpose flour. And you go very slowly. You get it incorporated in there. And then you can even turn the stand mixer off. At the very beginning, I always do this. I always turn it off. And then I'll get in there and I'll just kind of get that first batch of flour to make sure that it's gotten all down in there, because there's not a lot in there, so it doesn't actually catch all of it because it's such a little amount. And I always wipe the end of my spatula on the dough hook. Okay, let's stir that back up. We're on low. And then we are going to add some more flour. You're going to add a little bit at a time. Okay, so now I'm going to add the rest of the flour. I'm pretty sure that we have exactly how much we need. And then once it starts to pull away from the side of the bowl, then you know it's ready, and then I'll show you how you turn it out and get it ready. And it's going to need to rise. It takes about 45 minutes to an hour for it to rise. Okay, see how it's pulling away from the side of the pan? It's ready. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to take this. It's still slightly sticky, which I like because I like to do a little of the kneading myself. We're going to flour the surface just slightly, and then we're just going to turn this dough out. Okay? And I can feel that it's still slightly sticky, so I'm going to get some of this flour onto this dough. And then what we're going to do is I'm just going to do just a couple of kneads. Oh, I can feel it. It's nice and soft and tender. And then when it rises, it's going to practically double in size. Okay, so this is ready to go. So what we're going to do, you're going to take a metal bowl and you're going to put a little bit of olive oil in the bottom. Then you're going to take your dough and you're going to put it in the bottom of the bowl and then flip it over. And then you take a warm towel, cover the dough, and then you're going to just place this in a warm place anywhere, a warm, right next to an oven that you've used, or sometimes I even put it like right next to the fireplace, and just let it sit. And it takes about an hour, and then it will double in size. And now let me show you what it looks like. So this one I had made already. And this is the dough when it's all risen. I had wrapped it in parchment paper and put it in the refrigerator, and it freezes great. Okay, so this dough is ready. So now what we like to do in our family is I'll cut this in four. There's four of us. Now if you think about it, this is like a whole pie that you would get at a pizza parlor. And I like to split it up because I like it to look artisanal. I like the pizza to look, it's not like fully round. I like rectangular. So now we have 4 pieces. I never eat the whole one myself. I usually give the kids the rest of mine. And then it depends on when they want to have it. So if one of them wants it now, then I'll just make it now. So I'll take some flour, just a tiny bit, any surface. It's clean, make sure it's clean. Now, I stand here and I just do this with mine. Some people use a rolling pin. I never do. This is a little cold, but as it's soft, if it's room temperature, it moves around a lot better. But I like thin pizza. I like super, super thin pizza. So I'm just gonna kind of play around with this until it gets nice and big. Every Wednesday night in our house, as the kids were growing up, was pizza night. So every single Wednesday, we knew that Wednesday was pizza night. And we would either do homemade pizza or do it from the store. And the homemade is fun too, because everybody kind of gets their hands in it and everybody has their own preferences. My oldest, Lucas, likes broccoli and hot peppers and fresh herbs. And my little guy has, oh, he's not so little anymore, has always been just plain. It's so funny, my youngest Derek is 17, and the other day he texted me, it was Wednesday, and he texted me from school, and he said, hey Mom, is Wednesday still pizza night, or is that an old concept? I said, no, it's still good. So I thought that was pretty funny, but it was the entire time they were growing up. And you know what's really simple is if you don't want to make your own dough, you can go to a pizza parlor, which I was shocked that a lot of people don't know this, but any pizza parlor you go to, you can just buy the dough. So you can just walk into a pizza parlor and say, I'd like a pizza dough, please. And it should be no more than $4, somewhere between $2.50 and $4. Now you see how you can almost see, I don't know if you can see, but right here where it's white, that's close to breaking. You don't want to break it, but you see where the thick pieces are? I like super thin pizza. We have a place down by me called Pete and Elda's down in the Jersey Shore. And if you eat a whole extra large pie, you get a t-shirt. Both my kids have like 9 t-shirts with the extra large pie. And they're both 6'6" boys, and they order appetizers before they eat the extra large pizza, and then they eat the extra large pizza like it's some big deal. They're like, is that such a big deal? So, okay, so this I think is good. This is a little thick right here, but just for want of time, this is how we do it at our house. I've got the oven cranking at like 475, and these were probably not even this color when I first got them, but I love these. They have the perforated bottom, and that allows the air in the oven to get underneath them. So what we'll do is, I'm gonna make the first pizza here, and you see how pliable the dough is and it's not breaking? I love that. Okay, that's about good enough. Can see through you. I think I can almost see you. Okay, so we're just gonna put this down here, and then we're gonna take the sauce. And I'm using Delalo sauce, and that's from my local food town right in Ocean Township, New Jersey. It's locally owned, family operated since 1956, and now it's in its 4th generation. They have over 800 team members dedicated to giving the friendliest customer service experience and delivering the highest quality fresh foods available in meat, produce, deli, prepared, and bakery. Circus-owned signature recipes are available only in the 5 Monmouth County locations, and it's just such a great store. My son used to work there, and I think he might even be going back there because he's a musician, and you know, those musicians, they have to work either in a restaurant or a store, and he loved working at Food Town. Okay, so we're gonna use the sauce, and this is all you do. You find your favorite sauce. I think I'm using the tomato basil. Yeah, I love tomato basil. But look at that color. Oh, fresh, yum. You can make your own sauce. A previous episode, I did like a penne alla vodka, and if you may have that sauce in your freezer right now, you can use that sauce on this pizza, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, so you're gonna add your sauce, and then we're gonna add a little bit of shredded mozzarella. You can use as much as you want. Oh, that looks really nice. That's a nice mozzarella. And anything else that you like. You can add a little bit of red pepper flakes. This is just the plain. I'm gonna put a little red pepper flakes on it, and it's as simple as that. So we're gonna pop this in the oven, and then I'm gonna show you a couple of quick tips on making a fast pizza. All right, now, for a really quick pizza, if you don't have the time, I'm going to use Don Pancho's tortillas. And they have an assortment of different tortillas like tomato basil and spinach and kale and golden and organic wraps, and they work beautifully as a base for pizza. And they, you know, bringing family together around the dinner table with delicious food like Don Pancho tortillas. And the beauty of these tortillas is you get this flavor that's already in the tortilla. Oh my God, it even smells good. And we're gonna use another one of those pizza trays. And this is so simple, look at that. You didn't even have to make the dough. And we'll use the sauce. So first we'll do sauce. What kind should I do? I think on this spinach kale, I'm gonna do a Hawaiian pizza. So a Hawaiian pizza is just pineapple and ham. And you can use any toppings that you like. My absolute favorite pizza is broccoli and hot peppers. That's what I get everywhere. Like the hot cherry peppers. I like the spice. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna add a little of the mozzarella. You know, you can make a cheesesteak pizza, which is really good too. I like a chicken cheesesteak pizza where you use instead of mozzarella, you use cheddar cheese and chicken, and oh, it's so good. Peppers, onions, mushrooms. Okay, and then we're gonna take some pineapple. Now this pineapple, you can see there's liquid in that. This is a fresh pineapple, but it was so fresh that it's got a lot of juice in it. So I'm gonna take that with my hands. I don't want a lot of liquid in it, so I'm actually gonna squeeze that liquid back into that. Look at all that liquid, and that's a fresh pineapple. So good. And the little tiny dices are really, really nice. And then just a little bit of diced ham. Some nice diced ham steak. Oh, so good. And maybe a little Parmesan cheese. Let's throw a little Parmesan on that one. And that's it. And then we're gonna pop that in the oven too. That doesn't take as long. So this will take probably about 10 minutes, but look at that, how delicious is that? Oh, that pizza's already puffing up. So, a salad pizza. If you've never had it and you like salads, you wanna make a salad pizza. Let me get a little bit more flour. Okay, so I'm gonna try with the rolling pin, which I've done once in the past, and it doesn't change the dough as far as I think, but you can start with it, and then you can go back to your hands. So there's all different ways to do it. And we're gonna make a salad pizza. It's one of my favorite pizzas. You just put the tomato sauce on the bottom, and then you cook it, and then at the end is when you toss the greens and the vegetables in with a little bit of olive oil or vinegars or whatever your favorite things are. Then you just put it on the top. It's absolutely fantastic. Okay. So this is gonna take a second. So I'm stretching. You see how I'm stretching, but I'm being very gentle. I'm definitely not no, because I'll definitely tear that. But this is getting nice and big. So again, I'm using gravity to kind of pull this down. And I have 2 more pizza trays, and here's brand new ones, so you can see how often I use mine. So those guys are brand new. It's a different brand, but I think mine was that color to start off with. All food groups. You got the dairy with the cheese. Oh, and if you don't want to use dairy, you can use the vegetable shreds too, which are great. Okay, we're getting there. See how nice that is? Oh, so good. I froze it. I have some frozen pizza and some frozen dough because it's so easy to freeze, and then you just pull it right out of your freezer. Actually, if you go to the supermarket, like if you go to Food Town, you can go to the frozen section, and they have frozen pizza dough there too. So there's so many ways you can do it, but it's nice to have in the freezer. It really is great to have a dough in the freezer. So next time you make an extra one and throw it in the freezer, because it takes nothing to defrost, and you can literally go through your fridge and find stuff to put on top of it. And if you don't have tomato sauce, just chop up some tomatoes. You don't even need it. You know what makes a great sauce? Hummus. You can put hummus on a pizza, and that's really, here. I can tell that this dough is getting more room temperature, believe it or not, because when we first started, I was starting with a cold dough, and you really need it to be more at room temperature. So you can see just how much more this spread. And I didn't put any holes in this one, which is pretty much a shocker. But if you do, you can just kind of pinch them back together. So this is going to be our salad pizza. So we're gonna lay it on here. And all you're gonna do is you're gonna use your sauce. Let's try this one. This is the classic marinara. Look at that, I love the color. Bright and fresh. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we are going to You can either put the cheese on it or not. When I have a salad pizza, I usually don't put any cheese on it. I'll put some Parmesan on the end, but then we'll get the salad going so you can see how this works. So we've got the pizza, and you're gonna using a small ladle is really helpful because it kind of helps you get to the edge. You don't wanna go all the way to the edge because you want that crust on the end. Okay, there we go. Now this guy's gonna go in the oven. If I have room, I may not have room. You normally wouldn't put all three of these in together. The best way to make pizza that I have found, even though I have the perforations at the bottom of the pan, is to put one in at a time because you want that circulation completely around the pizza, or maybe one on the bottom and one on the top, or you can slide them from side to side so that this guy's getting complete all the way around. You see what I'm saying? It's from here to here to here. So let's just leave that in there and see what's going on. Okay, so I spared you all the time of me stretching this dough, and I did it while we were on the break. Okay, so now here is last but definitely not least, this is going to be buffalo chicken. So we're gonna just take shredded chicken, your favorite, whatever you like. Then we're gonna take just a little bit of hot sauce, any of your favorite hot sauces. We're gonna mix that all up. And all we're gonna do is add some broccoli and some blue cheese dressing. So we're gonna start with this, little bit of sauce, not too much because we got that buffalo flavor going on. Just a little bit of sauce here. Then we're gonna put the broccoli on. Ooh. Make sure that after it's steamed, you get most of the water out. You don't want to overcrowd your pizza because if you put too much topping on it, it's not going to get crispy. And then we're going to put the chicken on. Oh my gosh, that looks amazing. Then we're going to do the mozz. Look at that. Then a little bit of mozz. This time the mozz is going to go on the top. And then once it comes out of the oven, we're going to drizzle it with some blue cheese dressing. So good. All right, one of these guys is going to have to come out. Let's see what we got going on here. Oh, we're almost there. Just to show you where we're at. See, the crust is getting thick, but you see it's not browned on the bottom, so I'm not gonna take that out yet. The true key to a good pizza is when you hold it up and it doesn't flop on you. So let's leave that in there. This guy can come out though, because the tortilla pizza doesn't take as long. So we're gonna take this out, and I'm gonna put this broccoli and buffalo chicken pizza in. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna take that out, look at that. I'm gonna need to put that on a cutting board because I don't wanna cut the counter. So let's slide this onto a cutting board. And let's see how this baby tastes. Look at this. And this is made with the Don Pancho tortillas. I like to cut pizza in the smallest pieces because then you seem like you're having more. Look at that. Oh my gosh, look at that. So good. I can taste that spinach and kale, and for me, that is just a wonderful thing. Okay, let's just wait for the other ones to be done. Okay, so I'm gonna clean up, and then I'm gonna get rid of all this mess, and then we're gonna show you the pizza when they're coming out of the oven. This is so good. Okay, let's get these pizzas out of the oven. First, we'll do the plain in honor of my son, Derek. Okay, so you just take it out of the oven, and I like to cut it in like, you know, odd pieces. So this one I'll get 3 out of. And then it's kind of fun. We serve them on cutting boards in our house. Everybody gets their own cutting board. So, and that's usually actually the cutting board that I cut them on. So I would serve this one like this. See, it's sturdy. So here's the plain. I couldn't add anything to that for my son, so there would be nothing else on top of that. Maybe a little Parmesan. Let's do that while you're, there you go, a little Parmesan. Okay, next. It may not be completely done, but for the sake of time, I'm gonna take it out. Okay, so here is the base for the salad pizza. See the bubbles? I love them. At our house, Lucas gets the bubbles. So he would always come along everybody's pizza and pull off the bubbles in the pizza. So the salad pizza now, this is really the base of the pizza. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take whatever greens you like, and I love arugula. It's a vegetable. Do you remember My Blue Heaven? It's a vegetable. Okay. And then a little bit of red onion, a little bit of Parmesan cheese, and a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. Then you're just gonna toss that all up. And you can add anything you like. If you want peppers in here, add peppers. If you want avocado, whatever. But my favorite combination on a salad pizza is red onion, arugula, and Parmesan cheese. And then you're just gonna top it on top there. It is so good. So remember, you make the dough, you add the tomato sauce, you cook it, and that becomes your salad pizza. And then you cut it. It makes a little mess, but that's okay. And then I'll get 4 pieces out of this. And the reason I got 4 out of this and 3 out of that is because that dough was colder. So don't forget to make sure your dough's at room temperature. Look at that, and it's sturdy. It's a pizza party. And last but not least, we've got the buffalo chicken. This one's not completely finished, but that's okay, just to show you how to do it. You're going to take, oh my gosh, look at that, it's amazing. This is blue cheese dressing, just some homemade blue cheese dressing, and then just kind of stand high above it and just kind of drizzle it all over. Let it kind of fall where it lies. I like chunks of blue cheese in there. Let it just chunk out. Look at that. And then we're gonna cut that. And then I'm gonna do 4 on that one as well. There's your buffalo chicken right there. And let me show you about the frozen part. Okay, this is frozen. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take all of your pizza when it's done, and let's use this one because it's cooler. And then you're going to use a baking sheet. This has holes in it, but it's fine because you're gonna set it on the baking sheet, whatever's left over. It's pizza night. Do you have leftovers? Not usually, but if you do, set it on a baking sheet and pop it in the freezer for about ½ an hour, and then it'll be rock solid. And then you just stick it in a Ziploc bag, label it with a Sharpie and the date and what it is, and stick it in your freezer. And when you bring it back out, all you do is stick it right back on these pans and right back in the oven. And that, my friends, is all she wrote. And to freeze the dough, it is so simple. All you do is take the dough that you have and you just wrap it in parchment paper. Then you stick the parchment paper in a zip top bag, get all of the air out, and label it, date it, and the next time you want pizza, you just take this bag right out of the freezer, throw it on your counter for about a ½ hour, 45 minutes, and then do exactly what we did here today. Thanks for watching. I'm Diane Hendricks. Tune in next time to Fresh to Frozen and Back. Please share this episode with your friends and those you love. Follow me on social media, visit my website, dianehendricks.com, and I will see you next time.